it is, yeah. That's right.
Last night we were, Zach and I were playing in Charlottesville in this little jazz trio we were playing in. We got absolutely drenched, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you taking the time out of this, especially because it's the first time we're legitimately kind of meeting here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been, we've talked on social media.
Yeah,
That's,
it doesn't feel real until it's face to, well, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
face, right?
I mean, this is like throwback to COVID times, Yeah, no, that's
you're in
great.
Charlottesville, right? You're in
Yeah.
Charlottesville.
Yeah. Currently, I am on Ridge Street, up
I don't know
up near
anything
downtown.
about Charlottesville.
Oh, heard. Are you in Charlottesville?
No, I'm not. I'm in Richmond, and I'm still like, like it's been about a year and a half, but I've been just locked up in my office, just trying to crank stuff out. So
Nice.
I still have like a shit ton of exploring to do. Like there's like
Great.
spots here and there that I'm like a little familiar with, but in terms of like direction and whatever, like I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
point you anywhere. I just know we're in the Scott's edition
Scott's Edition. Dude, I'm playing in Scott's Edition on Saturday.
this coming Saturday.
Yeah, at Brambley Park. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've been to that park at least. Well, for me, at least a couple of times.
Yeah.
It sounds really familiar.
Yeah. I'll
All
send
right.
you a link or something.
Well, I'm gonna get right into it. I do a live intro.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that, and then once I bring you in, we just kind of go
For
back
sure.
to talking
One-
about art and shoot the shit and whatnot.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
One quick thing.
yeah.
My last name, if you want to know how to
Yes, actually, I'm glad
pronounce
you
it.
brought that up.
Yeah, it's like a hard one. So it's Orion Faruque.
Okay.
Um,
That's
and
it.
do you? Yeah.
Oh,
do you-
okay. All right. Because my
Yeah.
question was gonna be, do you roll the R? I'm the type of
No.
guy that
Oh no,
rolls R's.
you can if you want. Hell yeah.
Okay, because like I do that with my name. It's
Yeah.
Terado, but because I'm used to hearing my dad say, and he says Terado, so I'm like, I'd be a little fancy, be like roll an R in there, but unless your name, I'm not trying to be like offensive or anything.
No. Roll it away. I can't roll it that well.
Word. All right.
Roll with it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G Terado. For those who are new here, welcome to the show. This is a podcast generally for artists and creators. I sit down with fellow local artists and other creative entrepreneurs, and we just sit down. We have honest discussions and conversations about pursuing our creative endeavors. And sometimes I have friends that aren't creators on the show, and we kind of just shoot the shit, catch up and whatnot. So we talk about other interests, hobbies, all that good stuff. So if you enjoy this content, please be sure to like and subscribe, whether you are listening on podcast platforms or watching on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm, every now and then I'm throwing more content on there because I just, revived my channel. So do all the good things to help out with the algorithm, comment, share, all of that. And be sure to check out the episode descriptions, especially when I'm featuring a guest. That way you can follow the links on all their active platforms, including myself. If you want to check out my work. So yeah, be sure to do that, and let's go. So my guest is a new talent here on the podcast. It's literally the first time we're having an actual conversation outside of direct messaging. So, and we met through a mutual friend. She's been on the show recently, Adriana Garcia. Shout out to Adriana.
Shout out.
So yeah, he is an artist. He music artist, producer, engineer, musician. So yeah, welcome for the first time, Orion Faruque. I do actually throw in sound effects and stuff like
Great.
post. Yes, I mean I don't want to like go off on that tangent, but yeah,
produce it, man.
So that's the thing, right? All right, shit. I told you in the beginning I'm long-winded, so please cut me off.
That's all good, man.
Something pops up, but yeah, I guess that's something I do plan on clarifying with the audience a little bit when I have like a solo recording, is that the podcast, now that it's on YouTube, right? Because I was doing this for a while, just audio. Mm-hmm. But I do have like I went to college for media arts and animation, so we had done a lot of video editing and whatnot. So I've always enjoyed doing that. And now with the podcast being video, I mean, not that I do anything special, but just to like add a little more of my personality in the, I guess, production. So
put a little lens flare, some chroma.
Whatever iMovie allows me to do.
Yeah. Oh, you get that like text bar at the bottom, and then like the two different font sizes with the line in the middle. Dude, if you look on our or like my YouTube channel for the band that I'm in, you'll notice a lot of the text is iMovie based.
Okay.
At the time,
lower thirds and shit, like reveal title.
Yeah. When I was doing a lot of that stuff, I was using iMovie on my MacBook.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can. It's free, so
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man. So I guess to kind of to let the audience know a little bit more about how. Excuse me, I just ate. How we just met through Adriana Garcia, because she and I were talking before she hopped on the podcast, and she's like, I know a bunch of artists love to be on that would love to be on the podcast, or she thought would be great on the podcast, I should say. I was like, just shoot them my way, whatever. And then when she made that group chat, I was like, we had just talked about it. And then but I don't know, that's the thing, right? Because like it's kind of rare that I'll take a referral. No, when someone refers someone to me, it's like nothing against the person, but like sometimes they kind of they just like don't respond or whatever, right? And so I'm actually glad it worked out, because I mean it's just great to just the idea of other artists connecting and kind of I don't know, it's like weird, because it's weird like documenting this, right? Like if you're looking at it outside, like if you put it in a different setting, right? Like sometimes I'll be like, all right, just imagine this, but like at a party or at a whatever. Because when you're asking me before, like about the interview, I was like, oh no, don't look at it as an interview.
For sure.
Like we're quote unquote hanging out and really getting to know each other, but through that beautiful process is being able to broadcast to the public and let people know about this talent in the area that they may be residing in. So you are in Seville, Charlottesville. I've been there a few times for their festivals recently. So it's always been a great time over there. So I expect to be over there more often when they start doing more art events.
Yeah,
But
it's only an hour away, man.
yeah, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's not that bad. So yeah, man. I think I went on that huge tangent, but Adriana, what did she say? What did she say exactly when she even like said anything about the podcast? I'm just curious.
She said, yo, my friend has this really cool podcast, likes to talk to creative people. He just makes really cool art and he likes to talk to people. And I was like, and I like talking a lot. I'm a very uh, community oriented person, and I like talking to people and doing not interviews, but meeting new people and like talking about interesting stuff and like creativity and that kind of thing and fostering that, because for me, when I do that, then I learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I learn something about myself. I learn new things. I learn like what I want to do and how to do it better.
Fuck yeah, man, preach, because that's been something I've been vocal about throughout. Just I feel like I'm like a broken record. You said it kind of more more poetically than I did. I think also because I'm usually like baked as fuck when I'm by myself. But that is that's like kind of like how those are the values I take out of each of these experiences, even though sometimes they might not be ideally going as well as I'd hoped or what. I mean, overall, it's been a great positive experience every time. There've been a couple of times where it's like, I guess like I can tell I'm really communicating with a like a true introvert, because like you really have to draw them out to know them, and just like, I don't know. You find yourself asking real basic questions at that point. It's like, give me something here.
Yeah. It's
Talking
like
to you, it doesn't feel like that right now. I'll tell you that right now.
You ask them a question, and the first thing is like they just answer it and then sit there and look at you. I've done that before, and I'm like, oh, all right, heard. I mean, there's like honestly like introverted audiences. I mean, I don't know like how much of I understand like a lot of visual art is like kind of stuff you do in private, and then you kind of go show it, right? A lot of the art that I do right now is music and performance based. I mean, there is a lot of like studio creation that I do in private or with other like close collaborators. But when I'm in person at a show, there are all these different kinds of shows, and if I until you said it like that, I hadn't really thought about it in introvert extrovert. I think of it as like you have different audiences or shows that like take energy from you or give you energy based on like the people's reaction, how the vibe is. Like, there are shows where I show up and I'm playing and like people are digging it, I'm digging it, my band's digging it, we're all having a good time. So it's like a feedback loop, a positive feedback loop. Sorry, I'm rocking a seltzer. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, man, you got to have them. Bubbly water. Or there's versus other shows which you're like kind of paid to be an in-person jukebox where like you're putting out energy and no energy's coming back. And that's kind of hard.
Yeah, I think it's all the same. I mean, it's the way we are both articulating it. But I think it's generally kind of like, the same thing. Because, I mean, energy. Because I try to, it's so hard when you do things virtually. But I do believe, especially especially the ones I really vibe with well. Like I know well, I can't say I know, but I feel even more strongly like that if we were in the same room and like a solid setup, like that would probably like feeling all of that energy and just really vibing off of each other, right? It's a little more difficult doing it virtually. I think with the ones that were a little more quiet, it makes me wonder, I wonder if this would have been a little more like, I don't know. I wonder if they would have projected more being in person, or maybe even less because there would be a camera on them. So it's like it's and you know what, back then, because I have a couple in my mind that I remember particularly that it was just strictly audio. I had clips here and there, but
Yeah.
there is that little pressure when you feel eyes on you. So, and Zoom
Yeah.
kind of takes that away a little bit.
Yeah. 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 I
But
mean, you're looking at a goofy. I don't know. I I think it's cool. Like people should like take photos of what their Zoom setup looks like because
oh yeah,
obviously, you frame it well, and you're like, oh, these are the things I care about. I have a keyboard stand on top of an office chair
yeah.
with my laptop sitting on top of it.
I mean, I can do that right now. I have my phone.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me put it- So I don't know how well you'll pop up in the background, but yeah. But
Pow, 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 pow.
I'll take a video.
Nice. Pew, 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 pew. That was me trying to roll my R's.
This is the podcast setup on Zoom.
My headphones. I rolled my R's so hard.
Nah, man, I'm really glad that we got to do this because again, when you're just messaging back and forth, it's so hard to tell like the context, and even if someone's being sarcastic, but the other person can't tell because they're not just
Oh
used
yeah.
to the personality. So it's like, I don't know. I guess when I'm speaking with someone new, and again, I like to talk, so I just feel like I'm like a pest at this point. I'm just like blowing up their fucking DMs and whatever.
Nah, man.
So it's I have another friend that we actually do voice messages just to like make
Yeah.
it feel a little more organic. And I
Dude,
was like, yo, I'm all about that too.
my sister sends me voice messages, which I like, but I don't have like AirPods or anything. So
Mm,
I'll be like in my work is like sound. So I'll be like in a sound environment, and then I'll be like, hold up, everybody be quiet. I gotta listen to this thing for my sister. It's
right,
kind of
right.
funny. But then I realized you can just put it to your head and it'll like play like a phone call.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, the my friend that I'm talking about, his name is Jesse. Shout out to Jesse. We would be up like mad early because like we kind of have
Oh
an
yeah.
idea of how like our schedule. So, if
Yeah, yeah.
he's a photographer, so he'll like post like these
Cool.
morning photos, and I'll say what up or whatever because like
Hmm.
we're early birds, and then he'll start sending me some voice messages because he knows like I'm by myself. I'm like just getting my day started. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Dude,
yeah,
what's your daily schedule like? What does it look like?
so generally I wake up around 5 a.m. Because I like to work out early in the morning.
Heard.
So around 5 a.m. I get up, I stretch, take pre-workout. I kind of get a little bit of the chores out of the way. I feed the cats, clear up the sink, put my wife's lunch together because she gets up a little bit later than I do. Sometimes she'll come down to the gym with me. But yeah, I'll hit the gym for like an hour and a half and then come back, do my chores. It's not really until around maybe 10 or 11 I'll sit down here at my desk or
Mhm.
at the studio desk to work on stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really start getting like creatively productive till close to noon, just because even after the gym sometimes I need to like unwind because I don't know, I'm just like all hyped up and shit. So it's like
Yeah.
I'll smoke a bowl and try to like counteract
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're like trying to draw on your arms like
Oh yeah.
pre-workout. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Well, actually, I really don't like I always feel like anxiety is like the easy like
Mm.
excuse, but I don't know if it's that, whatever. I I really can't start draw, like I can't draw or anything because my palms would be sweaty. So
Oh
I have
yeah.
to like sometimes sit for like an hour or so just to get started. So like I'm like always like drying my hand with like this paint rag that I use.
Hmm.
And I'm just sitting there trying to like calm down unless I smoke a bowl, and then
Yeah.
eventually my hands dry up. I'm like, all right, let's go. It's so weird.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
hear that. I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever used this thing called Wim Hof breathing?
No.
It's this thing like yeah, there's this dude named Wim Hof. I think my mom told me about him, but he's like the Iceman. So he was like the dude who's like always you see him, he's like this crazy looking like massive beard dude, Nordic guy, and he's like jumping in ice cold glacier water and all this different stuff. But like he does this like it's basically like cyclical breathing
Mm,
thing. And so I've used it a couple times because I think a lot of artists get nervous when they're like creating something, especially for me. It's like if I start thinking about other people listening to it, I'm not just creating because I want to create and like because I'm making something.
mm.
And so like
Yeah.
if I'm thinking about it being on Spotify or something, you know? And so I'll like oh sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, no, no.
Oh oh yeah. I'll just like sit there and like if I'm freaking out a little bit like about that, I'll like sit there and calm my nerves by doing like this Wim Hof breathing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it definitely helped me like when I was putting together like this first album I put out. I was like there were certain takes I was just like so frustrated with. I was like, dude, I've recorded this like 15 times, like 15 different days. I like came in to do stuff and I was like, why is it why like I can do this live, but as soon as I get in the studio or not get as soon as I get in the studio, it was like for this one specific thing, like my brain would just like immediately space out. And
Mm,
like kind of what you're talking about, like your hands getting sweaty or whatever. And like it takes like a bit to get going.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I
So,
use this Wim Hof breathing thing.
hmm. So it depends for me because, like, if I'm starting something from scratch, then I don't know. I don't know if there's anxiety going into it because, like, if I'm worrying about end result, like, if I'm
Hmm.
going back to something, I think my hands would be then, sweaty and everything getting into it because I'm worried about possibly messing it up. Now, when I'm
Yeah, for
starting
sure.
something new, uh, I don't know. I think starting something new, I don't even know, honestly. I'm like trying to think like what am I thinking? Because like as of late, because I have like I haven't really I've been working on commissions, so I'm trying to think like when I start a commission, what's the thing that's holding me back there? And I guess it's just conceptual. Like I don't just draft on paper or anything. Like I guess I kind of formulate it in my head. Like I try to, it's like the fucking, I don't know if any you or anyone that might be tuning in has watched Da Vinci Code, but when Tom
Hmm.
Hanks starts putting together the, like
Yeah.
subliminal messages and stuff, like I feel like in a sense, like that's how I conceptualize on paper, but I'm not putting anything down
Hmm.
yet. So I'm kind of doing that in my head. And then I try to, in a sense, trace that with on
Hmm.
physical life. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, breathing though is very important. So what is this pattern? How's the pattern go?
Yes. So Wim Hof breathing is basically like you it's weird. It's not like just deep breathing. It's like you're fully breathing in like that and then you breathe out. But yeah, no, it's more like you're like
So people know what I'm talking.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I
this is
think I
more
know what
like
you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, you do like you like breathe
Inhaling,
in and
right?
out. Yeah, like like you in and out like straight like for a minute straight. And then on your last exhale after the minute you like exhale. I can't remember exactly what it is, but you exhale and then hold your breath for like another minute. And then you do this like 3 times in a row and each time you reduce the amount of times that you like inhale and exhale. And because when you're doing that you're like oxygenating your blood, you're basically exchanging the tidal volume of air in your lungs.
Okay.
And so anybody can hold their breath for a minute. right? Or not anybody. Sorry, that's a gross over, sampling or whatever. But most people, like a healthy individual, can hold their breath for a minute, right? And but your brain doesn't always know that.
Oh, right,
Like your brain is sitting there telling, or your body, maybe your panic response. Like if you're have this fight or flight start kicking in, like, which is what happens sometimes when you think about ruining art, or like you're like not sure what to do. Or for me, it's like sometimes when I'm coming in to do vocal takes, I'm like trying to think of the mood I want to put into the vocals. Because like you hear it, when you listen to someone's voice, you hear what their mood is, right? So to get control of that, to get control of my body, I'll do like the Wim Hof breathing, and then take that knowledge that my brain is telling my body, no, chill, you're fine. You're fine. It's just a minute. We're going to be all right. Because your body starts like fighting against it. And it's like, doesn't, it's like, yeah, it's like, yo, give me oxygen. And you're like, no, it's all good. Just, you're going to be all right. And so it's like kind of a way of like regaining control of yourself.
You kind of become more in tune.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So wait, so when you're doing the breathing, because I used to do like, not that, like I would do like 5 to like, I don't know, 6 Mississippi like inhales, hold it for 6 Mississippis, and then exhale for 6, and then try to extend that. Is that what that is, or is that different?
No, it's like actually kind of the opposite. Like that's really relaxing for the sake of like deep belly breathing, and like like kind of clearing your whole like oxygen. But like this is like you're literally like sipping air and then expelling it immediately, and just trying to like move as much air through you as you can. It's kind of like cardiovascular. It's it starts pumping you up a little bit.
Gotcha.
And like, yeah, I don't really know if there is any science. I know Wim Hof says there's a lot of science. I don't know much about the science, but I just do know that for me, I do a couple of cycles to that, and then it makes me feel like I can be in control of my body. And this is like for me when I'm like trying to be really vulnerable and like deliver art, or not deliver art, deliver a good performance. Like
that's art. So I mean,
right. Yeah. But like when I'm like in person in a live show, I don't have to think about this, because like,
well, you feel it, right?
I like, yeah, I know how to, and I do know now how to do this in studio with myself, and I know how to like get myself in a place where I can come in and do that kind of stuff. And this is something like my job is literally helping other artists do. Like that's what I do. I like take people who are uncomfortable and work with them, and I'm like, hey, yo, it's just fun. Like we're having fun. Like try it this way, try this way, and they'll show me cool ideas that they have, and we'll figure out how they go together, and like how to kind of create like something that has a cohesive whole story and is an emotional delivery, like an emotional impact.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude. I love that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird.
It's weird.
I mean, it's cool. Like it's a cool job. It's just like every day is different,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can only imagine. So yeah. Shit. That. Well, yeah. Breathing. Like, I mean, I think just any breathing exercise definitely is good for the soul, for the body, and the mind.
Yeah.
Just help recollect yourself. But yeah, I mean, I for myself, I do it more as I try to calm myself down. But I mean, hey, it helps, especially during workouts when you find the proper way to breathe when you're exerting energy and all that. Like it's important because it helps you avoid injury. Like I feel like I become like some like snob or like some arrogant douche at the gym here. And we have a gym in the apartment building. Because like I see people like I used to be overweight, and I worked with a coach / trainer, help me with form. And like I've done, I've tried so many different training programs just to keep my weight down. And form is everything, quality over quantity.
Hmm.
And I see a lot of people that be coming in, and you can just tell, like, they're trying shit out. And it's, I always try to like help out with like, hey, if you're gonna do this, you know, try to show them like, oh, a proper way to help them with their form so that they don't like fuck up their back or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
Breathing is super, uh, it's important. Yeah, I don't know. I can see myself going into like get wearing masks and shit. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
let's not go there. My bad. Although there actually, we're gonna go positive here. There was something I
Yeah.
admire about your posts on Instagram, and those are your daily morning gratitude posts when you
Oh
list
yeah.
about three
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
I
man.
love that, dude. Because like I think
Thanks.
about that shit. Like I think, I'm like, yeah, sometimes, even on this podcast, I feel like I've said it out there once, but I just never held myself accountable, and I'm gonna try to like start doing that shit again, where I just list a few nice things
Hmm.
I like about this person.
Let's do it right now.
Okay,
Like,
all right, and then
th-
I want to reflect on the ones that you posted
oh
today.
yeah. Oh,
But
for
okay,
sure. No, 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 no. Let's do that. Well,
I'll
I was
start
just
with
gonna say let's take three. Like, just figure out three things you're thankful for right now.
first. We'll do that first.
Yeah, yeah. Just do
Okay,
it real
three
quick.
things we're thankful first. Okay. Um, well, honestly, first and foremost, I'm thankful to really be alive, to just
Yeah.
generally, without the BS, the white noise, just to be alive right now. I always try to bring it down to that very core thing. Is like as
Yeah.
shitty as something can be, I have to try to bring myself as close to like, hey, look, man,
Yeah.
it's 7:50. We're okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, Secondly, I'm thankful for my wife. Been together over, oh shit, I almost forgot. 17. We're almost getting on 17 years now, I think. We have two
What?
anniversaries. We have like our overall anniversary
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is about 17, but we've been married for about 3 now.
Dude, that's
So
awesome.
thank
That's
you.
huge.
Very thankful for her though, sticking with me all those years. And then thirdly is this one's kind of tough. I'm really bad like bringing things down to like the top 5 or top 3.
No, it's not the top things. This is the thing. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So
Oh
literally
my
just
god. I was
no.
going
I
deep.
mean, if you want to, that's great. But it's literally like just
Okay.
three things you're thankful for.
All right.
Like,
Well,
I mean, you already did two. Yeah,
yeah.
those are
All
great
right.
ones.
Honestly, I don't know if this is kind of like I don't know if this counts as like a double, but I was gonna say honestly, I'm thankful, I guess, for my creative discipline. Just the fact that
Oh
like
yeah.
I used to always say like because I mentioned I went to school for animation. I don't animate,
Mhm.
but I always say like at least I'm still drawing. Like that's the
Yeah.
like I guess I'm thankful for, grateful for, all of the above. Like at least I'm still drawing, I'm still creating, and
Hell yeah.
that's what it comes down to. So
Yeah, that's
that'd be
great.
3. Yeah.
That was a great list.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, man.
I'm like overthinking
Dude, it's
everything.
all good. Now,
Um,
next time you think of three things you're thankful for, you can't say any of those again.
See, that's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's on record now. It's on
Yeah,
tape.
it's on record.
Um, that is that is the tricky part for sure. What are your 3 then? What are your 3?
Right now, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Right now, I'm thankful for the company Lakai because I really like their shoes. I've been wearing them all day, and they're super comfortable. I'm thankful for the ability to drink carbonated water super easily. Like I can literally go to the store and buy a carbonated water at any given point. That's huge for me. And lastly, I'm thankful that there are people out there willing to communicate with me even when I drop the ball on communicating. That's huge for me.
Okay. I like that.
Those are just the ones I was thinking right now. I have no idea what I was thankful for this morning. Just so you know, I know you're pulling up. I see you back there. You're pulling up stuff. You're like, let's break these down. I want to break them down. Let's do it.
No, I'm just, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
'cause it really, I guess this is part of the method, right? Is like, it's a very sparing moment. Like right now, like I went fucking overall, like shit.
No, that's great.
Before, but
What?
you
Wait,
kind of
what did I write this morning?
good thing I put them down. So the little things, the good stuff, and rivers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just real quick, a little bit about this thing. I know it, like some people, a lot of people have come and talked to me about it. Actually, a surprising number, because like I started doing it probably like 120 days ago, and a lot of people, it came up like over the course of those days, like people were like, yo, we like this thing you're doing, and they're like, thanks for doing that. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's kind of weird. It's not for you. It's actually for me, like largely because I was trying to like channel my social media addiction or my digital addiction. So like first thing when I wake up in the morning, I like literally roll over and I'll pick up my phone. It used to be first thing, but now I'm like, if I want to do something else first, I'll do it. But I'll like pick up my phone and I'll take a photo of something I find beautiful or that looks cool to me. I'll take it like super up close, and then I'll just write, today I'm thankful for it, and try to do 3 brand new things. Oftentimes I'm like scanning the day before, like thinking about what I did the day before, because then my brain is thinking about positive things from the day before immediately versus like thinking about negative things from the day before, things I was regretful for or whatever. I'm immediately thinking of like positive things, and then just writing them down and like doing that immediately, posting it, and then putting my phone down and like trying to do something else. The posting part for me is like accountability. I was like, there's a bunch of people who look at my Instagram, and if I do this every day, like it's accountability for me. Like you were saying, you were like, you know, you were trying to do some gratitude or saying things about people
Compliments.
people that yeah, and you're like, you're not always remembering it. I don't remember it at all. And so like doing it in that kind of codified way has been helping me, because like when I was a little kid, my mom would give me a notebook. She'd be like, when you wake up, write down 10 things you're thankful for. And just I did that like every day growing up. And so
wow,
you know, that's huge. It's called a Thanksgiving list.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's great.
I mean, like when the birds wake up in the morning, there's this thing called the dawn chorus. They wake up at like 5, probably like a little bit after you, 5:20 right now, and they'll wake up and they just start singing for no reason other than they're joyful to be awake and alive. So
I love it. I love hearing the birds chirp, and because the structure of this building used to be a factory. And we're on the top floor, and I can easily hear the birds out there. When they're out there, like it almost sounds like they're inside or like in the wall or something.
Right, they probably are.
Right. They might have a nest up there somewhere.
I mean, so like the 3 things I forgot that I posted those, but that's the 3 things I can tell you. The little things, that is like, it's a double entendre. One, I really like that Good Charlotte song. The little things, things, they always bring you down. And also, I was just like, there's like little things in everything. Like, if I'm struggling to find something to be thankful for, I break it down smaller and smaller. Like you can go down to the quarks and or like you can go all the way down to the base elements or whatever. The good stuff is like positive things, but also that's the name of the record I put out last September, which I was stoked because the first single from it came out 1 year ago on Saturday. I was stoked. I just was thinking about that. And then Rivers was because yesterday my band played for the town of Scottsville for 4th of July. And the James River was just cruising past it. And so I was just like, dude, rivers are cool. I'm thankful for them. And so, I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's true. That honestly, when we were going over our thankful list,
Mhm.
well, when you were going over yours, I'm like, yeah, you're breaking it down even. I was like, the little things, like you're kind of even breaking it down even more.
Yeah.
I like I admire that.
Dude,
You know, yeah, that's
yeah, I
what's
mean,
up.
it like literally helps me, like, because I don't know, in the past, I've been in like not healthy mental spaces, and I've been waking
Oh
up and
yeah,
like just thinking about like all this stuff that's going on that's like bothering me, and I'm kind of like overwhelmed by. Like right now, that's a big thing I'm feeling all the time. All the time, I'm just like
yeah,
I'm doing a lot all the time, and so and I'm responsible for a lot, and so like
yeah.
I wake up and I'm trying to do all the things I have to do, and so if I can start that from a place of being like, dude, what am I thankful for right now?
Mm,
You know, that's really helpful.
mm. Yeah, that's why I work out first thing in the morning. Is like
Yeah, that sounds great.
it's actually not the. I mean, I guess like that's my way of being thankful. Like it's just like making
Yeah,
use of my, I
thankful
guess,
for your body.
yeah, my physicality and just
Yeah,
sustaining.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it also just helps amplify, it just it can make your day better, or at
yeah.
least prepare you for a possibly shitty day, maybe. Like I
Right.
just,
Yeah.
when you release those healthy chemicals,
Hmm.
definitely. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna speak from experience with like the type of jobs I used to work, but it helped me to an extent to be able to tolerate the bullshit that I had to deal with
Oh yeah.
in those past jobs. But yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
stress annihilator.
Yeah.
Like just
Not a
take
stress
that.
reliever, stress annihilator. Ah!
Yeah. I'm really bad. I say this all the time. And if I ever make merch, which like I don't know if
You
anyone's
should.
listening
You're
or
wearing
watching.
merch right now, dude.
I
You got
mean,
merch on
yeah,
your
but
head.
rated G merch. Like I
Right.
want to make a merch
Chill,
that
chill, chill.
says bad with words because I say it all the time. Like even though I
Yeah.
love doing a podcast, but I am bad with words. I'm trying to exercise my
Uh,
brain to be able to pull other words, but I always go back to the
Yeah.
mundane language. But
Dude,
yeah,
stress annihilator is not mundane. That's dope.
I,
Dude, you could draw like a crazy like train just like blasting into stress. And just like people would love that. I would love it. I mean,
hey,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, but I do believe that if like whatever kind of shit like you're feeling, I mean, if you got like a few minutes, like just kind of like do something a little rigorous, just something to get
Yeah.
your heart rate up and just
I
exert,
used to do that.
you know, like
I like
challenge yourself. Really, it's like
yeah.
what? Let me try to do 20 push-ups. If I
Yeah,
can,
no, dude. I literally did that. Like, I
yeah.
was in North Carolina, living there for a while, like discovering myself as an artist. Before I moved here and before I met Adriana, I like
Mm,
was living there, and I realized, I was doing lots of physical stuff and I was doing lots of things, but I was like frustrated. I was like, dude, you work for yourself, you have to get out of bed in the morning. Like that's so important. And
mm,
so I was frustrated. I was like, when you wake up, you can't spend like 2 hours chilling in your bed working on your phone. Like
mm, mm.
you cannot do that. And so to help myself at the time, and I should probably do this post COVID, but what I was doing is I would like wake up as soon as my eyes were open, I would roll out of bed, do as many push-ups as I could do, and then whatever that number was, I would double it and do that many sit-ups. And
Mm,
like for the first, couple months, it was great because I was like, struggling through it or doing it. And
mm,
then I like started getting really strong. And I was like, dude, this is starting to take like 20, 25 minutes. I was like, I can't do it first thing anymore. But it had
mm.
the effect. And so that was
Yeah.
really fun.
Even just a little like so. I- I'm not old, but I'm starting to get up there, and
Right, 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 right.
to the point where the testosterone is gonna start dropping.
Yeah.
But I even try to tell people, you know what? Try to just stretch for
Hmm.
like 3-5 minutes.
Hmm.
in the morning because you want to get that blood flow and like loosen up the muscles. You know, you've been like laying in bed for X amount of hours. So I always try to, um, try to help people and remind them to stretch every morning or at least, just a
Mhm.
couple minutes. It really takes only a couple minutes.
You got to do
You ever
radio
do that?
Taiso.
What's that?
Have you ever, that's like the Japanese thing that they do. It's like a 3 minute thing, and it's like to classical music. But like
Ah,
everybody or all these schools do it in the morning. It's only 3 minutes,
huh.
but it's like just look it up, Radio Taiso. Just check it out
Okay.
on YouTube. It's super funny. It's like
Never heard of that.
yeah, no,
Huh.
my friends who are in a band showed it to me, and they're like, dude, we've been doing this every so often in the morning just to move our
Yeah.
bodies. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that would probably be great for post workout because I like
Mhm.
explosive like
Yeah, yeah,
things. Like I don't know if you ever heard of the haka from New Zealand,
yeah, yeah.
but I'm all about that shit. Like we had our
Awesome.
honeymoon in New Zealand. That's how
Oh,
much
cool,
like
cool.
I was into it. And like I learned the
Yeah,
lyrics and the dance moves and everything.
that's
Dude, it's
awesome.
like that's something to like fucking pump up.
Yeah.
But
Do you play rugby?
I don't know.
Okay. That's cool
Uh,
though.
but I like that sport. Like I wish I knew
Yeah.
more about the rules, but I mean that's a tough sport for sure.
Yeah.
No man. You know, I wanted to bring up get back into some more focused topics because I am
Yeah.
trying to feature in like do the thing where artists support artists and because
Oh,
I
hell
could
yeah.
shoot the shit with you. I see like
Yeah,
I like
man.
this and I could do this
Right.
all night, right? Like no
Let's
lie,
do
I could talk about anything, like get into stuff that we're into, and we can go back into that. But
yeah.
and initially I wanted to have you on here because you are an artist and you're a musician, producer, engineer.
Hmm.
Uh, would you mind explaining to our audience a little more in depth on like what it is that you do,
Hmm.
what instruments you play because you do play multiple instruments and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so first and foremost, I guess I'm a producer.
Okay.
Uh, and well, I guess an artist who produces is probably the most accurate thing because like I view production as an art. Like it's a technical skill as well, but it's like it's an art form.
Yeah.
So that's what like my formal training is in, and like my adult life has been spent doing is taking people into studios, recording with them, knowing how to utilize a studio in the same way a photographer will use light to create cool effects, knowing what the different microphones lenses do, what the different converters or preamps, which could be thought of as cameras, do, things like that. And then taking that stuff and, before that, like meeting with them and being like, hey, musically, what are you trying to do? What are we trying to do? Um, and after that, taking it and like helping them basically create emotionally impactful performances. Things that not only sound good, they like, but also are going to be on some level marketable. Like there's a part of me that if someone hires me to produce in a certain way, I'll help them make it marketable. If someone hires me to produce in a different way, I'll help them make it what they want, like their passion project. And maybe it is marketable, but so that's kind of that. And through that, I learned to do all other stuff. But then for the past uh, 4 years, I've been releasing music as Orion and the Melted Crayons. I've been making music and songwriting and writing for like my whole life,
Mm.
but I codified it and started releasing music as that in 2018 with some like acoustic Appalachian style music. I released a couple singles. One of them was a single that I wrote. It's like a bluegrass single, and I got a bunch of my friends all together in one studio around one microphone and like
Mm.
recorded it super old school. Um, I just put out a record of stuff I made during COVID because we were playing a lot and we were playing all over the place. And there was like 6 or 7 people in the band oftentimes, which was really cool for me. And I had like all these colors to play with you know, I could
Mhm.
blend them, make like a really cool collage. And then like COVID
Yeah.
happened. And I mean, like the last thing we did before COVID was my birthday. I guess it was my 28th birthday was March 7th of 2020. Um,
Okay.
uh, and March 8th of 2020, we woke up in New York City because we played in Manhattan at Rockwood Music Hall 3 with our friend Asher. We woke up and we're like, yo, we got to get out of New York City, dude. This is like that, that was COVID was like starting, and like everybody was starting to freak out. So we came back to Virginia, and like from then on out, I was like kind of sitting alone in my apartment. So the good stuff is a record stuff I made because that's what I do. And I was just making stuff in my apartment. And then in like November of 2020, I realized it was like a good enough collection of things that I felt like I wanted to really put some time and effort and put it together and like really bridge the gap with some like a couple songs that I was like, okay, I have these songs that I wrote and made in the last year. Here are some older songs that would really fit here. Put it together. And yeah, I did that. And I got a bunch of my friends from all over the country on it. And then I put it out on Spotify and all the streaming platforms and whatnot. And now
Nice.
we're starting to get to play again. Or we have been playing, but like
Like the
play
ball's
real.
rolling now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which is
great.
nice. Yeah. And then yeah, so I guess that kind of covers. Oh, instruments you were asking about. A lot of
Yeah,
times
yeah.
with the melted crayons, I play a lot of guitar and sing when we're playing live. Um, but I grew up as like a jazz drummer, and so oftentimes when I'm playing like with other stuff, like actually after this, I have a rehearsal in a little bit for my
Okay.
friend's band who's playing at uh, this thing called Fridays After Five on Friday here in
Uh,
Charlottesville. I'm playing drums in her band, and then I
cool.
play bass and keys and this thing, which is like the studio I view as an instrument.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, basically my job as a producer is if I can't play the part, I need to know someone who can play it.
mm,
Like that's the whole thing. So
gotcha.
yeah,
Pretty cool. I mean, that's
yeah,
kind of
man.
like a jack of all trades. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say I guess so.
I'm sure
Also,
there's a better name for that,
yeah,
but
no, I mean that's a good like I just call it a multi instrumentalist, and also like
okay.
I listen for people's voices. So people's like, I mean,
Mm,
you can see it in people's art. You can see it in
mm,
people's cinematography. Like like when you think of this person, you think of a thing.
mm,
Um, and oftentimes that's what like when you're looking for the thing that you do, just look at the thing that to you seems really easy, but everybody else seems to struggle with. That's
mm,
your thing. You know what I mean? Like that's your thing. Um, and so being able to figure out what that is one of my things. Like
mm,
I can meet people and figure out what they're doing that is working and what maybe they should let someone else try. And then the thing I've
mm,
practiced doing is like how to deliver that and how to help, you know, because there's pride. Like I played a bunch of stuff on my record that I probably could have gotten someone else to play,
mm.
you know, largely because of COVID, but there was
Yeah.
a certain amount of pride in that. And this used to happen when I was younger. It happened a lot
Okay.
more. But then I like, learned and I started learning from everybody else. And I was like, I could play that, but it would be better if someone else played it.
Mm,
So
yeah. That makes sense, though. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to get the best out of it, um, yeah, if you know someone that can really fill in those shoes, pull it
yeah.
off.
Or like, people think about it a lot like vocals. They'll
Mm,
like feature a vocalist on their song because that's their voice. They want that voice on there, right? I think of it like, right now there's two bass players who've been like kind of fading off in my band. And so when I pick a set list, I think about their voices. And
mm,
there's also two drummers right now that are kind of like trading off. And I think about their voices. Like we just had
interesting.
our show yesterday, which went really well, was the first time that collection of musicians has played together as a whole. Like
Oh.
I've played with each of them individually and some of them in smaller subsets in other things,
Uh,
playing the Melted Crayons music. But I knew because I was like, I knew what they like. I knew what their voices were, so I picked songs that like really suited us to have a conversation, you know,
hmm,
and that we could talk to each other because that's what music is. That's what art is a conversation. And if you think about it not as a static thing, and you think about it kind of like jazz is straight up free
mm,
improvised conversation, which we do all
mm,
the time. We're free improvising a conversation. People do that a lot. We're basing it off 26
mm,
letters in the English alphabet, right?
yeah.
But and then people start playing music and they freak out and they're like, I don't know how to free improvise. I'm like, bro, you do it all day long.
Mm.
You get in your car and you free improvise how to drive around and not panic, like that's free improv.
That's that's an interesting way to interpret it.
Yeah, I mean like you
I like
understand the
that.
rules of
Yeah.
like how the thing works, but
Yeah.
like when this person over here is honking at you and this 18-wheeler is driving past you in the other direction like this, you're not panicking, you're just free improv.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You just
That I
go
find
with
it
it.
yeah,
Be
I find it
water.
like yeah, freeing. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Be water.
Be like a G.
Be like, yeah, be like a G. Yeah. Ain't no thing but a G thing. Um, are you a 90s kid?
Yeah, yeah. So I was born in
I'm like
90.
trying not to be rude. I'm
No,
trying to
it's all
figure out
good.
how old you are.
Yeah, I just turned 30 in
Right,
March.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
We're
man.
about we're not so far apart.
Oh
I'm
no, don't tell
35.
me that. You just said testosterone was just about to drop off. I'm just
35.
kidding.
So I think
Oh,
like
cool, cool.
36 or 37 it starts, that's
That's
when you start
awesome.
getting
I mean, that's
weaker.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
the keys.
yeah, to stay young is just to be active, just keep moving.
Yeah, young is a
God
state of
damn.
mind.
Oh yeah.
To
Well,
stay immature is not good though.
no, no, it's not good.
To stay young is good.
To
I'm
stay
just
young, yeah.
there's a distinction there.
Well, you can be wise and young.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
There you go. You got fucking deep there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What influenced what was the thing you went to school for
Oh, I went.
specifically?
Yeah, so I went to school for music production. Like
Okay,
that.
what led
Like
it what kind of influenced the music
so.
um from the get-go?
Yeah, my family is. I like to jokingly say I'm the worst musician in my family. So I had to learn how to practice. Like everybody else just like picks up stuff and does something cool. Like literally
Oh.
my mom's like a church and classical piano player. Like and
Mm.
like I have videos on my phone of her like just like actually crossing hands and just being like, "Oh yeah, I learned it this morning because I thought it sounded good. I liked it." I was like, "All
Shit.
right, sweet." So I'm like surrounded as the youngest person like in the family, surrounded by all these like insanely talented people, and so like and we would play together as a family, which was
That's
really
cool.
cool. And then I don't know when I was like in middle school, I started like realizing that the people around me were like, "Yo, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to go to the lawyer." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Dude, I just kind of want to sit in my room and play music." I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'll be a musician." And so I started doing that, and that's cool. Um, and actually, at the time, I was also doing like I was coaching. When I was like done with high school, I would like was doing like a lot of coaching and stuff like that. But I started I like did a bunch of research in high school and started realizing that music production was like a job, like creative oversight and that kind of thing. And I was
Mm.
like, oh wow. So I was going to Virginia Tech for a while and I didn't really like it there just because there wasn't like much for me to do or I felt like in the music scene or whatever. And so both of my brothers had gone there. So it's a cool school and I was just being around there. Um, but I like got on the college board website and like looked up places like schools, and so I applied to the school I'd never heard of. I was like, dude, I can get a BS in music, which is like kind of a rare degree, and so I like applied there and got in and just went and like completely immersed myself. And like I was for a while, like I didn't take any semesters off when I went there. I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I was doing like 20 credits a semester for a while, and it was an intense time, but
Yeah.
I did it.
Hell yeah. Damn. School.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. Like, I mean, it's by far like some of the most expensive studios I've ever gotten to be in, you know.
Yeah. No, who was it? One of my friends asked me, or maybe I asked myself
Mhm.
if I would do anything different when I went to school. I'm pretty sure I had a conversation with somebody, probably a fellow classmate, and
Yeah, yeah.
I wish I fucked off a lot during college. I did enough to get by, but when I look back, not that I didn't take anything from those courses, because there's definitely a lot of valuable lessons and things that I learned from class that I use for my work today. But I definitely could have took it more serious and put more
Mhm.
effort. So I always uh what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say praise, but I respect like the people, like a lot of my classmates that like really worked hard on it. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and like yourself too, kind of like just
I mean, I
I
did some of both. Like,
yeah,
I think everybody in hindsight's like, it's like I wish I took more advantage of the things I had, you
yeah.
know.
No,
But yeah.
not my wife. Well, she's a non-creative. She's more intellect. She's a speech pathologist, but she had to like really fucking go through like some hard, get her
Yeah,
master's and
yeah.
all that shit.
That's
Shit's
awesome.
crazy. Yeah, so always proud of her.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome. Yo, I don't mean to break the flow,
I was
but
gonna say,
yeah.
yeah, because you have practice. So what time
Yeah.
is practice?
Yeah, it's technically at 8:30. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
we
my,
scratched the surface, my man.
yeah, my bad. I should have I didn't really think about it. But these days things are getting really busy.
Nah, man, it's all good. Honestly, though, for what it's worth, I mean, we've got about like an hour, I believe, and I started
Yeah.
my timer late, so I know we definitely we got
Cool.
almost an hour in there.
Yeah,
Let's plan like a part two or something, because
yeah.
yeah, man, I would love to like just get deeper into just picking their brain about this,
Yeah,
the
man.
creative process and all that shit, all of
Well,
that.
this is
So
cool. We also kind of like got to know each other a little bit
for sure.
on the podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, because, and I'll wrap it up after saying this.
No, it's
Uh,
cool. The rehearsal's here, so I
okay,
just
all right.
yeah.
Um, it's funny that you said that, because usually um I try to make it more of a habit of having like these sort of little meetings, like a
Mm,
meet and greet, or what, a FaceTime or a phone call, when I'm meeting somebody new, just to kind of sort of break the ice and just get a
yeah,
certain
yeah.
vibe. Otherwise, I just tell people like, or you can just like check out some video clips, that because I always put
Yeah.
out clips every week. I'm like, at least like check that out, so you kind of get like I want to say like my energy, just like how I am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how to describe myself, but yeah, usually I do that, but I didn't get to do that with you.
It's all
So
good,
in a
man.
sense, this is kind of more of an extensive. I mean, this would have been on the phone if that was the case, right? That's would
Yeah,
have
yeah.
how it would have went down most likely. So I'm glad we did this on the podcast. It's actually how I used to do a lot of my first time meetings with other artists in the
Yeah.
earlier days. So it's kind of takes me back a little bit, but definitely would love to have you back. Um, you know,
Yeah,
the
man.
next time you have free time.
Yeah, let's just plan a
Um,
part two and see what's up. And
yeah,
what do you here's a quick question.
yeah.
This will set up our part two. What are you stoked about right now that you're creating?
Oh man. That's so
I mean, you're
hard.
probably stoked about a lot, but what's just like one thing that like, I can ask you about next time?
I think just the recent work I've been the commission work I've been doing, because I've been
Yeah.
focusing more on commission work for some clients. So that's been fun because it just helps with the business and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's been exciting and kind of getting back to some of my original work. I've been vocal about it, talking about getting back into it. But the time being is I have commissions I have to work on, which are
Awesome.
exciting as well. So that's
Yeah,
yeah,
me
I'd say
too,
that's the
man.
current thing.
That's a crazy thing, and we can get into this next time, but like the
Feeling the
you
main
know the
motor.
the the life of a working artist or like a working creative, basically like depending on what you're doing at a given point, like sometimes I struggle with being creative for my job all day long, and then sometimes at the end of the day, do I want to be creative for my like personal art that I'm doing? Yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah,
also might want to go do something else. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And when I'm working on my private work, it's a little darker place.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes like I have pieces that I've kind of let sit because I'm like the headspace I get in when I'm working on 'em is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's rocky and it shows
Yeah.
outside. So yeah, we could
But
talk
also
about
there's
stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
there's the
Oh, yeah.
flip side of like how to treat your personal art as your business sometimes. Like, and that's what I did
Oh yeah.
exclusively during COVID. Like
Mhm.
that's basically, well, not exclusively. I did a lot of other work, but
Yeah,
yeah, that was big.
for sure. All right, man. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time unless you at least have
Oh,
like a brief period to like get situated for your practice.
it's all
But
good. I mean, yeah, well, the band will get here. It's kind of cool. It's like my band, everybody's playing different instruments
mm,
for a different artist. So it's like it's chill. Like I don't have to like get to like really
okay,
have to get comfortable with new
okay,
people. We just all kind of like swap and move around and just
okay.
So yeah, so it's
Interesting.
kind of a cool, fun experience. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Well, this is gonna be out on the 11th
Heard.
next
Sounds
week.
great.
So,
That's Sunday.
well,
That's
you
Monday.
have the show this weekend. I'm gonna
Yeah.
send me the link to that actually, and I'll definitely mark that on the calendar. Anything else you want to like plug out there for the time being
No, I
till you
mean
come back?
just check. Yeah,
Yeah.
just check out the good stuff on any streaming service. The Good Stuff by Orion, like the constellation Orion and the Melted Crayons. You can listen to it. It's only 39 minutes, but if you have the time, listen to it from front to back. Like put on the first song and listen to them all in a row. It takes you on like an emotional roller coaster, and like it'll bring you up, it'll bring you down, and it'll leave you feeling like back up, like in a good
Mhm.
place. It'll just kind of chill you out. Uh, and yeah, that was the intention when I made it. So I hope people enjoy it. We have Instagram, Spotify, like you were saying. I think you put them in the links or whatever.
Yep,
We've got a.
I
Uh,
will for sure.
there we have some really cool animated music videos on our YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
If you don't mind, when you have the free time, I mean, I'll
Yeah, yeah,
probably remind you.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
can send me all of your active links,
yeah. I,
and just in
yeah, I
case
think
like I miss any.
yeah, sounds good. A good place to start is the link tree we have in
Okay, yeah,
or
the
I
link
have in my
tree.
bio. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah, I
right, so I'm
misspelled
gonna
I
throw that in
misspelled some stuff, so just copy and paste it.
there.
My brother was like, "Yo, why is it OT Mac instead of uh O at MC?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I was in a rush. There was a lot going on." And he was like, "Well, what?" I was like, "Why don't you just fix it?" I was like, "It's in too many places now. I can't."
Well,
So,
for the
yeah.
listeners and viewers out there, when you see the link, just click on it and enjoy
Yeah, yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks
Oh
for having
yeah,
me on the
of
podcast, dude.
course, dude. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And we'll run it back. We're gonna do another one.
Yeah.
And it's crazy
Maybe in
how
person. Maybe in person.
maybe
We'll see how it
I've thought
goes.
about it. Um, I'm trying to invest in on more equipment, so I would like to have a proper,
Yeah.
be able to have a proper setup. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe next time it could be in person. Maybe. What was I
Yeah.
gonna say? Yeah, it's crazy. An hour goes by fast. But yeah, those tuning in, whether you're again listening or watching, please be sure to like and subscribe. Hell, even ring that notification bell. Ring that bell so you can keep up with all of the current uploads. This is a weekly podcast. All right. And yeah, just be safe, stay healthy, stay aware, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, G.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Cause I know I got